Welcome to Purple Aardvark Gaming. We've got a special for you tonight. We're going to do our top 10, but it's our top 10 with a difference because everybody does a top 10. And sometimes when you watch those top 10s, you think, oh, 10 isn't quite enough, and then 20 is too much, or it's a go up to 100. So here at Aardvark Gaming, we're going to do our top 10, but hexadecimal style. So for you decimal people out there, it's a top 16 to you guys. It's our top 10. So I'm the Aardvark, this is my wife Shell. I'll be honest with you, she's not sure what she's doing on this one, so we'll see how it goes. But I'll start by saying we did a list of games. We own somewhere in the region of 70 games. We've played a few more with friends and family. So we narrowed this list down to this top 10. And this is what we've got at the minute. It's currently nearly September 2020, so we're still in lockdown here in the UK. So some of our games might be influenced by what we've been playing recently, due to not being able to have friends and family around. And it might be different next time we do this, but we'll see.
Number 10.
So we're going to start with my number 10, which, rather embarrassingly, I don't have the actual game box for. I'm not sure where it is, because I've got some expansions. So my number 10 is Flashpoint Fire and Rescue. This is the rule book. And the reason I don't have the box is because we have several expansions, including Second Story and Urban Structures. So I've actually ditched the original box, and I keep them in a separate box now because there's too many boards to keep track of and too many rule books. So that's why I've only got the rule books. Flashpoint Fire and Rescue. You play a fireman. You have to save people out of a burning building. There's some hazards in there, like some hazmats and things that could explode. So you go in, you extinguish fire, but then it comes back. We've enjoyed playing this, haven't we? And with our the two boys. I'll say three because William, the youngest, likes to just play with the fireman. I mean, who wouldn't, the fireman? But I've played it with the older two, and we quite like it. It's quite challenging on some of particularly the urban structure one. But on the easy level, it's good for all of us, and it's one you can pull out. It's fairly easy to set up, and I think we can play with anybody. Kids, friends. It's a nice light game as well, and being about firemen, I think people are on board with it. So my number 10, Flashpoint Fire and Rescue.
My number 10 is Arkham Horror.
The card game.
Yeah, the card game. It's just really challenging. It's different every time we play it, isn't it? It's never the same. We started playing this on camp.
Yeah, so we were nice and easy to take to camp with us, and just because it's a card game, it just thought, well, we can play it on an evening while the kids are in bed. That's how we started, didn't we?
Yeah. So,
yeah. We do like challenging games. I think that's not on my list because, if I'm honest, I should say, we'll see if it's on my list, but it's not. That's not on my list. It's a bit too hard for me, I'm afraid. And it's a deck builder. It's Shelly mentioned. We've not really played many deck builders, and we're still kind of finding his feet with them. So I do like it. I just find it a little bit too difficult, and I'm not quite with the deck building yet. So I think I might need to play a bit more. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Right. So my number F is one that might be a bit controversial for people, but if you've seen some of our playthroughs, it's one we like a lot. This is one we haven't played yet. It's Exit the Game. This is the Haunted Roller Coaster. As I say, if you check out our videos, we've got quite a few of these that we've done playthroughs through. We're not brilliant at them, but we really like them. For those who haven't played them, they're about £10 here in the UK. But they're a one-time playthrough because it's like an escape room in a box. And you cut it up, you tear things, you fold things, you colour things in. But we like them, don't we?
yeah.
There's hours and hours of fun with these, but you have to keep buying them. Like I said, that's the downside. It's not like you can play it again in a bit because some of them it varies from game to game. Some you completely destroy. Some you could possibly sellotape this back together, but it's a lot of effort. But yeah, we like those. Don't we?
I like that one, yeah.
So that's my number F. Exit the game.
My F is Ghost Stories. Yeah, again, really challenging.
She likes
I
challenging
like
games.
challenging games. This one's best played with 4 people.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So we normally play with our friends.
I mean, it says 1 to 4. I think if you play with one, you probably control everybody. I'm not sure. I've never played it solo. It just said 1 to 4 on the box. But we
Yeah.
found if it's just us two, we've not enjoyed it as much.
No, we haven't. So I do like playing with my friends with that one.
We have got the expansion, White Moon, I think it's called. There's 2, I think. White Moon, do you remember?
I think it might be, yeah, because it's them white statues, isn't it?
Yeah. So Ghost Stories, another one, very hard, very good. If anybody's played it, you play 4 monks, and you have to. There's a bad guy that's turning up, but in the meantime, you have to get rid of the ghosts that are turning up. You have to work together, and they've got different abilities on there. And it is really good. There's a lot to it for what seems to be quite a simple game, but Shell said very, very difficult. we don't win very often, and I think we play it on easy.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's Shell's F. Ghost Stories.
Number E.
My E, number E, very similar to my last choice. In fact, I could have probably put these together. Is Unlock, another escape room in a box. This one I put ahead of Exit the Game purely because the replayability of this one. So with this one, there's no cutting up, there's no colouring in. It's just cards, and you have to work out how the cards go together. Look at the cards and see if there's anything hidden on there that you didn't see at first. You need an app to play it, but it's free and it's fine. It tells you whether you got it right, and there's puzzles to solve. Here in the UK, these come in 3s. I think you can buy them elsewhere. It's singular, so this has got 3 adventures in it. And again, as you see, we've not played this one. We have played a lot of these. I think there's about 6 or 7 in the series. We've enjoyed all but the last one that we did. So again, if you watch any of our videos, the last one's a little bit of a letdown, but prior to that, we really enjoyed them. And this one you can play again, or you can pass to other people. Like I say, it's just cards. Anything to add on that one?
No, it's one of my favourites.
All right, okay. Well, we'll come back to that one for sure then. So that's E, Unlock.
My E is Suburbia. See, I'm not good at this. I can't remember. I can't remember.
This is as it says, live in the town of tomorrow today. It's a town building. It's a town building game. So you start off with the same town, suburbs. You're the suburbs of a town, and then it's like a drafting game. So your tiles are laid out, and you have to pick which tiles you want. And if you want the newer tiles that come out, you have to pay more money for them. And it's weird for Shell. For those who don't know me and Shell particularly well, she doesn't like competitive games. You'll see that when we get higher up the list.
No.
I'm a bit of both. I can do co-op and cooperative, but Shell really doesn't like competitive games. And normally when we play competitively, you'll see me actually helping Shell quite a bit because she doesn't quite have that. I won't say killer instinct, but you know what I mean. I want to win. Shell's not particularly bothered. So, but this is a competitive game where you have to build the best suburb, and you build museums and schools and parks and things. There's a lot to it, and it builds up. It starts really simple, and then it gets more complicated as you go. And we played it with friends as well. We played this one. I think you can play with 2 players. It's good with 4. It just adds an extra element to it. But
yeah, and it doesn't feel like you're playing against each other as well, which is what I like.
Yeah, because there's no real take that element. There's no well, I'm going to hit you and do some damage, which you'll see later, one that Shell isn't really a fan of. With this one, I'm building my suburb, and you can build yours, and they don't interact as such. The only thing that is, if let's say you're picking up tiles that are already laid down, so Shell might have an eye on the school, and then I nick it, and then she gets annoyed because I wanted that school. So, although she don't like competitive games, she gets quite aggressive sometimes. So that's your E, yep, Suburbia.
Number D.
Right, my D is a lighter game, I suppose, from a lot of these, and it's I don't know how many copies of this they've sold around the world and the various versions of it, but this is Ticket to Ride Europe. If you haven't played this one, I suggest you do. Any Ticket to Ride, but this one's one of my favourites, and I'll tell you why. Because there's different sizes to Ticket to Ride. This one's Europe, like I say, and I feel with this one, you can play it 2-player like me and Shell do, and it's still okay. And similar to what we just said about Suburbia, although it's competitive, you don't really feel it's competitive because I'm building my lines and Shell's building her lines, and they don't always cross because you're in different areas. So you if you've not played it, sorry I missed that bit. It's a bit like the card game Rummy in a box. So you have to collect sets of cards coloured. So I need 3 yellow to build this yellow track, and then I put my trains down, and then Shell can't take that track, and you have to get from one point to another on the ticket. Like I said, I like it with 2-player, but it's not really that competitive with 2 players. You can play it with more. It goes up to 5. Actually, I think it did 5. It goes up to 5, and when you get to 4 or 5, which we have played, then that's when you get more competitive because there's less space on the board for you to get your ticket.
It's fun as well.
yeah. We have quite a light-hearted gaming group where we will shout at each other, but it's all in fun. So we have had incidents of people getting really irate over this game because I really wanted that route, and we've had moments where there's certain pinch points I can't think, maybe like Paris because that's in the middle. So somebody builds a train line out of Paris, and then everybody else panics and builds a train line out to Paris.
Even though they might not need it.
yeah, we've had that before where because everybody else were building a line, somebody built one, and then we looked at it afterwards and said, well, why did you build that? And they went, well, everybody else were building one. So we've had lots of fun with this. My D, Ticket to Ride Europe.
D. My D's exit the game.
No, okay. Sorry. There you go. Just for display purposes.
Yeah, exit the game. That's my D. But Aardvark's already explained the rules.
Yes, I've covered most of it. But you really like that, no?
I really like. I could just play that every night. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm more into board games than Shell is, but if ever I say, let's play a board game, she will say, and I'm surprised, I mean, it's only D on the list, but she will say, we're going to Exit. And I'm like, we played Exit last time. We played something different this time. But yeah, so there's Shell's D, Exit the game.
Number C.
Right, now on to C for me. Another bit of maybe a controversial choice out there because this game's got people that love it, people that hate it. Because it's Marmite now. I'll explain why I like it. And this is Betrayal at House on the Hill. A lot of people that call this game because they say that it's disjointed, the haunts are broken at times, things don't fit together. The reason I really enjoy this game, and this is one of the very early ones that we played, and we played it with friends, and it plays 4 or 6. No, you're right, 6. Yeah, so it plays up to 6. But we've actually played it with either 8 or 9. I can't. Can you remember?
Yeah, we added extra.
Yeah, I think we used the fireman from Fire and Rescue. And we've played this game with more than 6, which again even made the haunts even more broken, if I'm honest. But the way we play this, we just have so much fun. We don't take it serious.
Yeah.
We don't worry about the rules. We've had people go, I don't want to be the betrayer. I'm not explaining the game. For those who don't know, you start off, you're going around a haunted house as a group of friends, just looking for things, and you find secret doors and traps and skeletons and all sorts kinds of things. Crazy, wacky things happen to you.
Yeah, so you just like build it up, don't you?
Yeah. So you start with just a little bit of a house, and you explore and you build it. We don't actually own this game. It's not mine. It's my nephew's. But we keep it here. We've got the expansion Widow's Walk with it, so we've got even more to play with. And the first bit is really good fun because crazy things happen to you, like you fall through a wall, or the ceiling falls on you, or you get attacked by a ghost or something. But then partway through, one of you goes crazy, and that's what they call the haunt, and then it becomes a one against everybody else scenario. And then you get 2 rule books, so one for the traitor and one for the heroes. But we've always said, because people have been like, oh, I really don't want to be the traitor because we've got to learn the rules and everything, but we've just said, read them, play them however you want to play them. If you got it wrong, it's fine. We just have a laugh. So even after that, we have a laugh. So yeah, I agree with the bad reviews. It's got that. Sometimes the haunt's broken, sometimes it don't quite work. But my advice for this one is don't take it too serious.
No, just have fun.
Yeah, just have a laugh. Just take it for what it is. And it is really good fun if you're in the right frame of mind. And I mean, I think we're gonna have to do a playthrough of this one when we can get everybody round.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just for you to see how crazy this one is with the right people. So my C, Betrayal at House on the Hill.
You might have to explain about this one. My C is Time Stories. We've not played it a lot, have we?
I think we've done. So I'll explain what it is then. So in this one, you're time travellers. Your team of time travellers. I'm going to get that one out. I think it plays up to 4.
Yeah, we've played it 4.
Yeah, we've always played it 4 because I think the advice is if you play with 2, you should have 2 characters each, and I don't think it quite works for this. So, and you don't know what your mission is. So in the box, and I'm not going to give any spoilers away. The one that comes with the box is in an insane asylum in the 20s. So you're in the future sometime, and you're sent back to this insane asylum, and you play a character in the 20s. You each play a different character, and you have to talk to people in that location. And it's really unique because you're not allowed to show the card to the other person. So Shell will say, well, I'll go talk to that person, and I'll say, well, I'll go and have a look out the window. And I'm not. You read a card. Shell reads a card. I read a card, but you're not allowed to say, oh, here's my card. You're allowed to. You're not even allowed to read it to them. You've got to read it, and then you have to relay what you saw as if you were looking out the window. And played properly, it's really good. And again, you could cheat and you could say, well, here's a card, but we don't do that. We play it as if we're in the character. We're not play acting, are we? But we say, oh, I've looked out the window and I can see something in the distance, and we explain it. Or if we've spoke to somebody, we try and not look at the card and just try and
remember what we've seen.
Yeah. And it's always a mystery, so you have to work out why you're in this insane asylum in the 20s. And you move from location to location as a team, and you have to solve the puzzle of why you're there. And there's a time track that ticks down. It's a long game. We've played this into the early hours of the morning, haven't we? It's a really long game because there's a certain timeline that you've got, and when you get to the end of it, you come back to your own time, and then you have to start again. So you go back as if you've never been there before. But you obviously know, well, I spoke to that guy and he didn't tell me anything useful, so I won't talk to him this time. We need the key and it's here, and so you have to try and remember what you did last time. There are ways that you can save it to play again, but whenever we've played it, we've always just gone, right, we're going to play it, and we've played through. And there's normally 2 friends that we play with, and I think we've done the one that's in the basement. We might have done 3 more. We've done 2 or 3 more.
I know we've not played it that much, but it's one that I always remember.
We've had a lot of fun with it, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's always been a laugh. And again, I think this one's got a bit of people saying, oh, well, it's a bit convoluted and it's, and they don't quite work. I think it works. So it works better than Betrayal at House on the Hill, I think. But again, it's the laugh that we have with it, talking about what we've done and going back and, things decisions we've made that's not worked out well. I'm thinking of buying pants. No spoilers, but do you remember when I bought them pants and you all shouted at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you played this to any degree, you might understand that joke. But yeah. So
Yeah,
we've played 3 scenarios. We've got another one, but in lockdown we've not been able to play it.
Yeah.
So that's your C.
Yeah, that's my C.
Type stories.
Number B.
Right, my B is another game that's not actually mine. It's my nephew's, the same person that owns Betrayal House on the Hill, and I haven't got the original box, so this is one of the expansions, and it is Pandemic. I'll say the base game of Pandemic, but we've got On the Brink, which is this expansion, and the In the Lab.
In the Lab, yeah.
We haven't got the third one, State of Emergency. So Pandemic, you must all know what Pandemic is, but really briefly, you're going around the world saving the world from 4 diseases that are threatening it. You're different characters, medics, scientists, etc. And you've got to work together to stop the virus from spreading. Now, me and Shell discussed this. I think it'll come up later as well with Shell, but she said to me, are you having Pandemic, the base game, or are we including expansions? So we're including expansions that we've got, because it would be a big difference, I feel. I mean, we really enjoyed Pandemic when we first got it. Then when we got the expansions, maybe not so much On the Brink, I mean, it had some more characters and things, but In the Lab, and this in a review, but
yeah, it just changes the game.
Yeah.
For the better.
Yeah. I think that although Pandemic was a great game and we really enjoyed it, now we've got In the Lab with it, we would not play without In the Lab, because I think it just adds that extra element that just gives it a bit more realism about finding a cure for diseases than the base game did. The base game just collect 5 cards, cured it. This one you've got to get samples and do some testing. We don't play with all the modules, we drop the modules in and out, and then that's the beauty of it as well, so you can play with the different bits, can't you?
Yeah.
So that's my B, Pandemic, the base game with the 2 expansions.
What were we up to?
B.
B. Ticket to Ride, Rails and Sales.
We don't own it.
We don't own it, so we don't even have it. I don't even have a picture.
We have no box to show you.
It's your other nephew's, isn't it?
Yeah. So my other nephew's got that one, so go on.
Yeah,
Why do you like that one?
We just have a laugh with it. Again, it's for more players, isn't it? It's better played with more players, and it was probably one of the first Ticket to Rides I played.
Yeah, well, just to expand on that for those who don't know, so Ticket to Ride, Rails and Sales is played on the world. Well, there's 2 sides to it, but we only really play one. Is the world map. So it's a really big board. I think that plays 6. I might be correct on the number. I think it plays 6. And it includes boats as well as trains. So you have to decide whether you need boat tickets or train tickets. And again, I think that's one that's not on my list for the reasons that I put Europe on, is because I think Europe's better because you can play with anywhere between 2 and 5, whereas I think Rails and Sales you need the higher numbers because you're too far. Potentially you're too far away from one another in a 2-player game.
You can tell my top 10 are just because I just have fun.
yeah. And then that one is good. The other side of it is the Great Lakes, I think, in America, but we've not played that one as much. We played the world map, but actually don't have the box. My nephew's got it. Anything more to add?
No.
Just have lots of fun. Again, it's a competitive game that you like.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that might be.
Right, so my
Number A.
My A has already been mentioned by Shell. No, we haven't got back in the box. You don't matter. It's just at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
My A is Ghost Stories. I really like Ghost Stories. We mentioned it earlier. It was on Shell's list. Really enjoyed playing it. I think it would actually be higher. I really like it. I think it would be higher if not for the fact that I really think you've got to play it with 4 players.
Yeah, you have. You can't play it with any less.
And although we do have a bunch of people that we play with, they don't come that often. We have to kind of factor in that everybody's working and everything else. So a lot of our games are 2 or 3 players because my nephew comes down quite a bit. I did before lockdown. So I think with that, if I could get 4 people to play regularly, if my kids were older, because it's not really for children, then it'd probably be higher on my list because I really think it needs 4 players. But that's my A, Ghost Stories.
My A, Eldritch Horror. Again.
Are you going to explain this one then, Shell?
I'm not, you can explain it. It is my favourite. I don't even know why it's not higher. I do really like it, but I like all my games. I would play games every night.
Shell had a real problem when I said you've got to put them in order.
Yeah, I'd just have them all at top, but I had to rank it. So
Eldritch Horror it's a cooperative game. Again, 1 to 8 players, but I'll be honest, so we played it. I don't think I've played it 5 once. Definitely played it with 4.
Yeah.
And this one, so for those who don't know, you're saving the world. You're an adventurer. He's on the box, saving the world from some demon or other. It's set in the Lovecraft universe, which I don't know much about it other than what's in this game. If I'm honest, I'm not into that kind of thing. It's in the same world as the Arkham Horror that Shell had earlier, and you're going around the world saving various places from demons, other monsters, other things that come out, closing portals. There's lots of stuff in this game. It's massive. It's one of them where you'd have to leave it set up a lot of the time because there's so much to it, and it doesn't take that long necessarily to play, but it takes quite a bit to set up because there's cards and cards in it, and you kind of want to play it again. Again, I think Shell's. You can speak for yourself, but I think we have lots of fun with this. It's a good laugh. So so you go to, I can't remember places, but you go to San Francisco to find a clue, and you end up being poisoned or something, or having hallucinations or whatever. So it is. You all work together. It is quite good. So lots of stuff happen to it. We've got quite a few expansions for this. For people who know the game, it comes with big box expansions and small box expansions. I think we've got all the small box expansions, and we've got one of the big box ones, which is Under the Pyramids. And we apart from Under the Pyramids, which you have to play you have to specifically play. We just chuck all the cards in, and we just play everything that's there, and off we go. And everybody we played it with has had a good time on there.
Yeah, they've all enjoyed it, and it's easy to pick up as well.
Yeah, the only thing I will say, when I've said you can play this 2-player, but from our perspective, having 2 characters doesn't really work. There's too much ground to cover. So when we play, we have 2 characters each. So kind of like a 4-player game.
Yeah.
There you go. There's A.
A for me.
Eldritch Horror.
Eldritch Horror.
Number 9.
So this will be halfway now. This next one through our lists of our top 10 hexadecimal board games. So my number 9 now is one I got off Kickstarter. I'm not sure how popular it is out there, but this is Resident Evil 2, the board game. I backed this on Kickstarter, and we've had lots of fun with it. I got a couple of expansions with it. I got some of the deluxe content like the doors. It is, for those who haven't played it, it's a miniatures game where you're going through the Resident Evil 2 board video game, which we were both fans of when we were younger, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I'll say fight zombies, but you don't really. You spend a lot of time evading zombies, but you have to try and find a way out. It's like a puzzle, if you play the video game, it's very similar. It's not necessarily you've got to kill all the zombies. You've got to find your way out of the scenario that you're in, and so you have to find items, move on to the next area, find weapons upgrades. It's not just rolling dice. There is dice rolling in this, but it's not just rolling dice and shooting. You've got to decide whether you're going to run past things or whether you're going to tackle things. And it is a co-op game that you play together. There's 2 reasons it's not higher on my list, if I'm honest with you, because I do really enjoy it, but it takes a lot of time to set up, because you have to set up the scenario, and it's all tiles and boards and everything. And also, although it plays 1 to 4 players, again, not really a review, but in my opinion, it doesn't really work with more than 2 because you have spawn points on the game. So on a 2-player, you have quite a big map on the table, and I'll start at this end and Shell will start at that end, and you have to kind of work out where, I'll go here, you go there, and then where we're going to meet in the middle, don't we?
Yeah.
There's only 2 spawn points, so when you play it with more than 2 people, you have to double up the spawn points. So I'll start it. So 2 of us will start here and 2 of us will start here, and depending on how the order is, and because the complexity doesn't ramp up with the number of players, if I go first, then the player behind me goes. I've already done most of the stuff that needs to be done, so they're kind of. So I'm going, and the person behind me is just walking behind
just following
me.
you.
Yeah. There is cases where that's happened. I'm on to have shot the zombie, so they get to shoot him. But in most cases, I feel like the second player at each spawn point is just moving behind the first player. So I think it should have had like a thing where you could have had 4 spawn points for 4 players.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do really enjoy playing that. We've not played it for a while, to be honest, but I do enjoy that. And that's number 9, Resident Evil 2, the board game.
My number 9, we've already had it. It was called number E, was it?
Yeah.
Unlock. Again, I really like this. I like trying to work out. Yeah, just trying to work it out. Told you I won't be very good at this. Yeah, I just really like it. I like all the.
Why is it higher than Exit then?
Because we can play it again. We can play it again, and you get 3 in a box, and we always end up playing all 3.
Yeah, we normally set up saying, well, we'll play one and then we'll save the others, but because we've had so much fun.
Yeah, we enjoy it. We end up playing all 3 in one night. So we'll start at 8 and finish at 1 in the morning. But yeah, it's really enjoyable. That's my number 9.
Unlock. So that's the halfway point. So this is where I'm going to cut this video into 2. So that's from 10 down to 9 for this video. For those of you who are working in a decimal world, that's 16 down to 9, and we'll do the second part very, very shortly. So thank you very much.
Thank you.